Ladies and gentlemen, something strange is happening behind the scenes at Twitter. Left-wing accounts are losing thousands of followers. Right-wing accounts are gaining tens of thousands of followers. And no one knows why. My friends, we have a mystery on our hands. Perhaps a conspiracy. Now, of course, the official narrative that seems to make the most sense is that right-wing users are just coming back. Now that Elon Musk is announced to be taking over Twitter, the right says, "We are free! Hurrah!" and they charge forward. And the left is simply fleeing the platform because they don't want to be on a platform owned by Elon Musk. Perhaps. But there's a few other things that I think shine a light on what may really be going on. I don't know for sure. I would like to posit to you a few data points that suggest something nefarious is happening behind the scenes. Some have suggested it may be an Enron-type scenario where at Twitter they're destroying documents, changing code, and trying to make sure Elon Musk does not find out what they were really doing. You see, right now, as tens of thousands of people seemingly just follow Tucker Carlson for some reason, Truth Social shoots up to #1 in the App Store. Am I to believe that Trump supporters are simultaneously signing up for both Truth and Twitter at the same time? I don't believe it. Some have said Truth Social is #1 because they just joined Rumble's cloud service and now they can onboard everybody. That doesn't necessarily explain why everyone is downloading the app all at the same time, but perhaps people got an email notification saying you're on. But that doesn't make sense because you'd have to sign up with the app to get in line. You'd have to already have the app on your phone. The App Store rankings are for people downloading the app. At least I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Here's what I think. I think Twitter is removing politically biased bans, and it's extremely obvious. And I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is the proof. You see, if it's one thing if prominent personalities like Tucker Carlson gain tens of thousands of followers, the narrative being Trump supporters are coming back or signing up. Then people are like, who do I follow? I guess I'll follow Tucker. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is not as famous as Tucker Carlson. Certainly Tucker would gain substantially more followers, right? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he's already got all the followers. So why are people now coming back and following Marjorie Taylor Greene? Well, Marjorie's followers are likely to be those who shared the Hunter Biden laptop story, or likely who were suspended or banned, more likely to have been. With this massive surge, I think she gained nearly 100,000 followers. I believe Twitter has removed a ban that was in effect on right-wing accounts, and we're hearing some of this testimony. Accounts popping up saying, I was banned until 2 days ago, and then they announced the sale, and all of a sudden, Twitter allows me back on the platform. Interesting. How much do you want to bet? Behind the scenes, Twitter had some kind of algorithm or system in place that was overtly politically biased. And they're panicking because Elon Musk is going to come in, he's going to see it and be like, whoa, what were you doing back here? But let's start from the beginning. Let's start with the official narrative here. Now, of course, before we get started, head over to timcast.com. Become a member, help support our work. As a member, you're keeping our journalists employed. We just hired a new journalist. We're going to be hiring a couple more columnists. And you allow us to do things like buying billboards in Times Square that will push back on the mainstream media and help make our show bigger. And share the show. Hit the like button, all that good stuff. You'll get access to members-only segments at timcast.com, but let's read the story from NBC. Now, I believe this story from NBC is untrustworthy, and I'll explain that, but let's read. They say, Twitter, which did not provide an exact number of accounts that were shuttered or activated in the hours after the announcement, said it was looking into recent fluctuations. Ben Collins writes, Twitter has been flooded with user reports of high-profile accounts losing thousands of followers after news broke that Tesla CEO Elon Musk would purchase the network. Some accounts on the political right, including that of Marjorie Taylor Greene, saw their follower counts skyrocket. Greene, who boasted 539,000 followers the day before news of Musk's takeover, had 632,000 followers by Tuesday evening. Twitter did not provide an exact number. Quote, while we continue to take action on accounts that violate our spam policy, which can affect follower counts, these fluctuations appear to be largely a result of an increase in new account creation and deactivation, Twitter said in a statement. A spokesperson at Twitter who spoke on the condition of anonymity said the accounts that experienced the most severe drop-offs in followers were high-profile accounts. Obama, they say, The most followed user lost more than 300,000 followers after Monday's announcement. I don't buy it. Pop star Katy Perry, the third most followed Twitter user, lost more than 200,000. Something does not add up. Some right-wing politicians noticed and lauded the increased follower counts Tuesday. It really is something how conservative accounts are getting massive follower increases today. Blah, blah, blah. Jair Bolsonaro of Brazil gained 90,000. Okay. Let's slow down there a minute. Why would Katy Perry lose 200,000 followers? I'll tell you what I think. I think Twitter is lying. I think Twitter fabricated numbers. I think Twitter is playing dirty games. Let me take you back in time. We will go back, my friends, 13 years. Whoosh, 2009. 2009, I remember seeing commercials for Twitter. I'm wondering why. What is this? It was like I was watching a Sprint commercial, and they were like using Twitter, like going to the mall, and it's like, Dad, don't use Twitter. And I was just like, dude, I'm a millennial. I don't know people who are using Twitter that way. Twitter was being used by tech bros. It was being, and I was like, what's the point? I can post the same message on Facebook. Now, I started using Twitter around Occupy Wall Street more substantially. Had my account since 2009. And it was because getting out quick messages into the news cycle worked. It was a really fast way to see a flow of information coming in reverse chronological order. Made sense. But at the time, before I started using it, the narrative on social media in the hacker spaces was that Twitter was creating fake followers and fake accounts to make people believe that they were gaining prominence. We've heard similar stories about Reddit, that in the early days of Reddit, Alexis Ohanian and what's the other guy's name? Steve Huffman, were sock puppeting to convince people, to make them think there were a lot of users on the platform. That is, why would someone use a platform with no followers? So what did they do? They said, look at all the people engaging with you. And on Twitter, they're like, wow, look how many followers you have. 5,000 people want to hear what you have to say. I don't know if it was fake accounts or whatever. I think it's possible, however, that if there's a big purge happening right now, how much do you want to bet that the political bias in the system was like, make it look like these celebrities are more famous, make it look like these left-wing personalities are more prominent, and suppress people on the right or ban them. It may actually be not a single phenomenon. It may be that there are bots fluffing up the numbers of people on the left to make them look more popular and more prominent, which I believe is probably true. I know for a fact some prominent journalists their accounts are totally fake. And I think it's possible that they have to get rid of that before Elon Musk steps in. We have this story from Fortune. Big Twitter accounts on the left are losing followers and those on the right are gaining since Musk buyout was sealed. Uh-oh. What's going on? Well, my friends, I'd like to bring you over to Social Blade for Timcast. Why, it's me. There's me, Tim Pool, with 1,171,915 followers. Man, why do I have so many followers? Thank you for following me on Twitter, I guess. But I post so much nonsense. Take a look at this. On Monday, 1,146 new followers. On Tuesday, 19,756. On Wednesday, 39,425. Okay, let's slow down there one moment. How could this be? We also have this Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson gained 62,000 followers in half a day. He lost 50,000 followers yesterday. This is not people coming back. News broke yesterday. Something effed up is happening. Check it out. Why? On Monday, they announced, on Monday morning, I wake up and the news is breaking. I'm like groggily looking at my phone and it's like Elon Musk set to buy Twitter. That information alone should have resulted in a major influx. Within that 24-hour period, you mean to tell me nobody signed up? Nobody came back and said, yo, I'm here for this. It makes no sense. If, people are saying that tons of Trump supporters and conservatives, libertarian types are coming back to the platform to neener at those who are upset. I can imagine that's true to a certain degree. But on Monday morning, when the news broke that Twitter was in deep negotiations, and the news story from Reuters was Elon set to become new owner of Twitter, you'd think right then people on the right would be like, yo, let me get on Twitter and start spamming this. No, they waited. So then at 2:53 p.m. Monday, we get the breaking news that Elon Musk has secured the deal. But even then, Trump supporters did not sign up. They didn't. They said, oh, well, hold on. I'm going to wait a day before coming back on the platform. No. When the news broke, you would have seen at least an influx. Take a look. On Monday, 1,146 people followed me. On Sunday, 1,288. The numbers are comparable. There was no substantial change. Not even 100 people, not even 200. Not even what you should see. If this was people coming back organically, on Monday, it could maybe be 5,000. Then by Tuesday, 19. Why? Well, because news travels slowly for a lot of people. They don't watch they don't watch our show until late at night, and they don't get the information until the next day. That's possible. But why not a single blip? Not a single blip on Monday. Something happened overnight. Now, I understand Social Blade may actually just calculate 24-hour blocks. It may be from 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. the next day. Who knows? But whatever the time frame is, Monday should show an anomalous increase from the previous day, which it does not. So to put it simply, they may say like at 5 p.m. every day, we check how many followers you have, and that's how we calculate. It doesn't make sense that Social Blade would cut the day in half and be like, we're going to check at noon. But even if they did check at noon, you had at 8 a.m. news that Elon Musk was winning. Certainly 1,000 people of the 60,000 who followed me since, 1,000, certainly 1/60th would have signed up. Something doesn't make sense. Now you want to talk about new people signing up. How is it that Marjorie Taylor Greene gained nearly 100,000 followers? Marjorie Taylor Greene has 539,000 followers. She jumped to 632. Tucker Carlson has substantially more. What does he have? Like 2 or 3 millions. I don't know how many he has millions of followers. Now, it's possible that many people who follow Tucker did not follow Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, hold on there. That doesn't make sense. If those people were already on Twitter following Tucker, they just decided randomly to follow Marjorie Taylor Greene this day, it doesn't make sense. Tyler, CEO of The Blaze, says, definitely something bizarre happening with the Twitter algorithm impacting follower counts. Carlson's up 62,000, Rogan up 63, Trump Jr. 87, Ted Cruz 51, Maddow's down 18, Cooper's down 10, AOC's down 27, Kamala Harris down 22, Hillary Clinton down 17. What's going on? Gabbard's up 10,000, Rand Paul's up 33,000, Ilhan Omar. You start to notice something really interesting. The more the individual is in opposition or outside the establishment, the more followers they gain. The more prominent they are within establishment media, the more followers they lose. Tucker Carlson gained 62,000, Rogan 63, Trump Jr. 87, Ted Cruz 51, Maddow loses 18, AOC 27. Or maybe it's a left versus right thing. It's interesting. I think what we're seeing here is some kind of hardcore algorithmic manipulation. I think it's possible that what really happened is quite simple. Twitter removed overtly political bans. It may have something to do with Elon Musk. Let me see. Maybe it's this one right here. Cernovich says, Twitter lawyer Jim Baker, when general counsel of the FBI personally arranged a meeting between the FBI and Michael Sussman. In this meeting, Sussman presented fabricated evidence in the Alpha Bank matter. Elon Musk, this is who is inside Twitter. He facilitated fraud. Elon responded. Sounds pretty bad. Elon also responded saying that blocking a legitimate news story was a huge mistake. And that's what they did. Twitter's still lying about it. One Twitter engineer said it was a hacked materials policy, which they just made up, never implemented again, and the materials weren't hacked. Lies. Elon Musk said that was a mistake. Could it be that at Twitter, they still had the bans in effect? Yes. It's quite simple, my friends. I think what happened was Twitter kept saying the people who shared the Hunter Biden laptop story at the time, they said banning Hunter Biden's laptop story was a mistake. But they did not unban the people who did it, who shared the story. Once Elon Musk moved in, they went in and removed all of the bans on people who had shared the Hunter Biden laptop story. That means Marjorie Taylor Greene would likely gain more followers than Tucker Carlson because her followers are more likely to be aligned with this knowledge. This is a hypothesis, my thesis here. This instantly reactivated a bunch of accounts who are now following all of these personalities. Fascinating. The deactivations from the left may be legitimate because they don't want to assist in Elon Musk making money or something like that. But I don't understand how you could have this massive influx of people signing up for Twitter and at the same time, where's the, here we go. Trump's Truth Social has suddenly shot to the top of the App Store. It doesn't make sense. Again, some people said, well, Truth just got on cloud infrastructure with Rumble, which is a big deal, and now they can onboard everybody. Maybe, but if the people were on a wait list to get on Truth Social, they had already downloaded the app. So why would the app now be the top app? It says Truth Social has been seeing the most installs. People were in the waitlist already had the app on their phone. Did they delete it and then re-download it? Maybe, perhaps. But that's a stretch. In the absence of evidence, the solution that makes the least amount of assumptions tends to be correct. Occam's razor. I do not believe people deleted Truth Social. I don't use it, but I still have it on my iPhone. I don't really use iPhone, but I have one. I'm not going to delete the app. I just didn't open it. Why would people delete the app and then re-download it? It doesn't make sense. Why would people all flood to Truth Social at the same time they're all flooding to Twitter? It does not make sense. It doesn't add up. It could be that Truth Social announced there was no more wait list and new people flooded to the platform, but that's also not making sense. Why would people go to both Twitter and Truth at the exact same time? You mean Trump supporters and conservatives are both like, we need to get off Twitter and go to Truth Social and also get back on Twitter because Elon took over? I don't get it. It does not make sense. Mike Cernovich tweets, unless these past 2 days can be explained via new signups or reactivations, then Twitter's employees have a lot of explaining to do come November when Republicans take power. Maybe that's exactly what the panic is about. An Enron type situation. Maybe what's happening is that something behind the scenes is shifting, changing. Twitter locked down its code. What does that mean? Now, initially the reporting was they were worried about rogue employees. I believe that's possible. But what does locked down mean? Does anybody have access to it? Does it mean that they can go in and see the code but can't edit it, read only? Or does it mean they can't access the code at all? Could it be that Twitter engineers are going in and locking everyone else out and then purging overtly politically biased algorithmic code or something like that? Honestly, I don't know. What I can say is the official narrative as to what's happening with the follower counts does not add up. Something strange is happening. The logic does not, it doesn't. You want to tell me it's a coincidence? The left just leaves, the right comes back, the right also leaves to Truth Social because they want two apps? Yo, people couldn't even go to Parler or Gab or Getter. You know, those platforms saw an influx of users, but mostly people who had been banned on other platforms or who left Twitter. So people are choosing to come back to Twitter, but also choosing to open up another Twitter alternative. I'm not buying it. I think the reactivations are on the Twitter side, not on the user side. I think maybe they didn't realize what was going to happen when they clicked that button. I'm willing to bet someone at Twitter was like, quick, remove the Hunter Biden purge. And they clicked remove, and then all of a sudden, boom, a massive surge of new followers. And I will stress this point again. It is exemplified by the fact Tucker Carlson lost followers on Monday when the news broke. So let me say this. I want to drive this home. People who supposedly want to gloat over Elon Musk winning didn't show up the day he won. I'm sorry, you're full of it. That makes no sense. I'll say it a million times. Now, Elon Musk, he's got some challenges on his hands. We have this tweet from this activist in China. He says, the problem of Twitter is algorithm promoting extreme content to keep the platform more clicks. The censorship is introduced to balance this deadly problem. Simply removing the control and not changing the click-driven model will bring no free speech, but more hate and bias. It's not completely wrong. What may happen is that people will find a path towards gaining followers by becoming more and more extreme. They want to keep one-upping themselves. There's an addiction. And then I've explained this before with media. You write an article saying Donald Trump is bad, you get 1 million clicks. You then write Donald Trump is the worst, you get 1 million clicks. If you write the same story again, you won't get any clicks. So then you say, Donald Trump is the most terrifying president we've ever seen. 1 million clicks. Then you say, Trump could be as bad as Hitler. 1 million clicks. Then you say, Trump is as bad. 1 million clicks. Then you say, Trump is worse. But once you've gotten to that point, you can't go back and say Trump's not that bad, because then you don't get clicks. And people say, what are you talking about? You just told me how bad it was. They're trying to keep the addiction going. But every time they do something, you need a bigger and bigger dose. So what happens is, on Twitter, on the left and the right, you see this algorithmic drive towards the extremes, towards hyperpolarization. Twitter decided to ban the right, but not the left. So the left was driven absolutely insane, believing psychotic things. And now you have a cult emerging. Twitter wouldn't get rid of it because, as I described it, Jack Dorsey was guzzling the refuse of his own toilet. He built the toilet, he asked everyone to sit on it, and then he ingested the vomit and refuse that they were spewing out onto the platform, believing the psychosis that he had created through his refuse machine. Censorship is not the answer. It won't solve the problem. This idea that someone can come in, snap their fingers, and create a healthy conversation is absurd. It can't be done. And you can't stop people from communicating. The speed at which we communicate is going to play a role in this. So what we need is cultural resilience, which is earned, not forced. Meaning people need to go on the platform, and then you need to let people say what they want to say and let society determine what is too much or not enough. And the left has gone insane, but Twitter won't do anything about it because it's the left that is running the platform, a bunch of lunatics. Hopefully Elon Musk can solve the problem by just saying, everyone stop, enough, back off, let the machine run. Let it run. And then we'll see what we can figure out. In the meantime, I think Elon Musk is about to get access to a trove of evidence. Elon Musk did not just buy a Twitter platform, he bought evidence. This will be interesting. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.